Ahoy, hoy, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the O Show. I'm O, and I'm here for your amusement. Alrighty, guys. So today's episode, we are going to talk about a very scandalous movie. Okay? Uh, we are talking about Song of the South. Ooh, it's Song of the South. Now, you may be asking yourself, is that a Disney release DVD you were holding there, Orpheus? The answer is no. It looks that way though, right? Like, it looks like a legit DVD. But the word Disney is nowhere to be found on the front or back of this DVD because the movie was never officially released in the US. It was overseas. I don't know where this came from, but it's not foreign. It's not in another language. It's not dubbed or anything. Like, it's legit the original movie. And it has a whole bunch of there's a whole bunch of bonus features on it too, like sing along songs. There's behind the scene footage of them filming the movie, interviews. There's audio recordings of the Uncle Remus stories. So it's actually a really good a DVD. But why has it not been released in the US? You ask. Oh, I'll tell you. Because it's racist. So, you guys, let me tell you about this movie. So, you have this movie that's taking place on this plantation, right? And you have a bunch of slaves in the movie. Now, the problem is, the movie does not tell you, like, what part of slavery this is, right? So you don't know if they're really like clocking in and out for the day or are they free. But the more you kind of watch the movie, the slaves are not really doing anything. So I guess you're supposed to assume they're free because no one's like, hey, you go chop that field over there. Go pick those beans. I mean, it looks like they're doing stuff. There are scenes where they're kind of walking down the road, holding rakes and shovels, or I don't know. But you don't see them going anywhere. They're just kind of walking and singing. So, I like a slave choir. Like, I swear that's what they are. I swear like the slaves in this movie are nothing but like backup singers. And then background people. I don't know. But Disney's like, well, you know, people are upset because we made this movie, even though it took them to like late 80s to stop showing it. Because I swear I saw this movie at home on TV. I think it was on Fox, because Fox was a new channel in the 80s. They put anything and everything on so that people like me will watch that channel so they can get viewership. And Disney used to have these like Disney afternoons on Saturdays and Sundays, and they will either show a whole block of like cartoons or they'll show a movie, a live action movie that they did. And I know for a fact I saw this movie on TV. And then I was like, whatever happened to that movie, Song of the South? And then I found out it's just been banned. Like, Disney just threw that shit in the vault. So, apparently this movie is taking place post-war when slavery was abolished. So, technically, all the slaves are free. Now, was that last week? Had they been free for a month? Because a lot of them they're just hanging around. They're still like chilling. I don't know. Maybe they didn't have time to pack. Or maybe they're just like, well, we ain't got to clock in and out no more. So let's just wake up and sing. I guess. I don't know. It's so weird. All Disney had to do was put a dang date at the beginning of the movie and just explain. This is post-war. Everyone is free to go and do their whatever. And however, we're going to tell you this story about this little boy named Johnny. And boom, that's it. Like, you do a little tweaking and editing, and they can certainly put this on Disney Plus. I think kids would still like, well, some people will appreciate it. I don't think all kids will appreciate it now. They'll probably have questions. What the hell's happening? Don't put it on Disney Plus. I take that back. Just release it on DVD, okay? just so we can have an official like release. So whatever. Alrighty, guys. So look, let me tell you about this movie. So you have this boy named Johnny, right? And Johnny is played by Bobby Driscoll. Now, Bobby Driscoll was his child actor that Disney just loved and put him in a whole bunch of stuff. I think, if I'm not mistaken, his biggest role that he did of his career was he was the voice of Peter Pan in Disney's Peter Pan. And then when they needed to do like live appearances or whatever, I mean, he was already young. So, yeah, he would dress up as Peter Pan and make these live appearances, right? But I don't know. I may have to talk about him later in another video. He was like a sad death because by the time he died, like no one knew who he was. His body was found like on a cot in like this empty apartment building or something. And he had like beer bottles and stuff all around him. He was on drugs. I guess he had some kind of heart failure thing or whatever. But no one knew who he was. Like after a while, they were just like, "Who's this?" Right? Maybe because I don't know. I don't know how old he was when he passed, but he must have been looking a hot mess for people to not know that was Peter Pan. But yeah, he got buried in an unmarked grave because he had no identification on him, and yeah, that's what happened to him. Also, we have Uncle Remus, who's the next big character in this movie, and he is played by an actor named James Baskett. Now, James Baskett actually passed away, I want to say a couple years after this movie was released. And y'all, look at this man. He is in his like 40s. I'm in my 40s. 40 back then was a hard 40 because this man looked like, and mind you, that's his gray hair. They didn't have to add anything to him. What was going on in the 1940s? People look a hot mess when they got to their 40s. Okay, let me stop talking about this man.
But I ain't one to gossip, so if anyone asks you, you ain't heard it from me. No, you haven't.
The movie also stars Hattie McDaniel, who we all know from Gone with the Wind, right? Unfortunately, she's playing another maid in this movie. People these like casting of these stereotypical things. Anyway, she's playing another maid. So her name is like Aunt Tempe, which doesn't make it any better. But anyway, the movie stars a whole bunch of other people, but I don't know who they are. We'll talk about them later. Okay, so look, you guys. So Johnny, Aunt Tempe, and his mom and dad are going to a plantation. They're in the state of Georgia. Now, they were in Atlanta, so we're going down somewhere. I don't know where they're going. But they go to this plantation to visit the mom's mother, right? So we're going to see grandma. And Johnny thinks he's on vacation. He's like, "Oh, we're just going to hang out and whatever." And they're like, "No, we're going to stay there." And he's like, "Oh, why are we staying here?" And then the mom, of course, just says dumb mom things and lies to the kid. So they get there. And again, this is when you kind of like, you see like the black people walking around, and there's like one inside the house and one outside the house. And you're just like, are they working because they have to? Or are they working because they're just employees? I don't know. But there's this little boy there, like a little black boy named Toby, who no one ever claims. Like no one ever says like, "Toby, go to your mom," or "Hey, Toby, come home." It's just this little boy just keeps running around. So he is somehow like put in charge of Johnny. Like, "Okay, now Toby, just, keep an eye on him, like keep him company, do this, do that." Okay. Now, one thing I will say about this movie when it comes to the racist subject is like you have dialogue that they have this poor little boy Toby saying. Now, again, don't know the situation. Okay. Like, since everyone's free, is there a school? We don't know. I never see anyone go to school. I don't know if this is all happening on the weekend or what. But like, this little boy comes into this house and shows Johnny a clock. And he's like, "Oh boy, you got to see what happens when that big hand gets to the 12. And Johnny's supposed to be like 7 years old. So don't you learn time when you're 7? I don't remember what grade that is. But he's just fascinated with this clock. And he's just like, "Look, it's ringing." And Johnny's like, "Ooh."
I tell you.
What the hell is going on in this movie? Like, it's shit like this. Why is this little boy fascinated with a clock? Why don't y'all teach him what time it is? So while they're still looking at this clock, Johnny overhears that his father is going back to Atlanta. So apparently he works for this newspaper that's scandalous, right? Because, I don't know, he prints stuff that makes people mad and whatever, right? So probably a racist newspaper. But he has to go back. Now, it's not permanent. I guess he's coming back, I don't know, later or something. But just right now, he's going to be away for like a while. So he's like, well, y'all just stay here. And Johnny hears this and starts crying. And this is like the first of all his ugly cries. Because at this point, it's like the ugliest cry. He cries like 4 times in this movie. So he's all like, oh. Well, take a look.
Daddy, don't go. Please, Daddy, please. I won't stay here. If you go, I'm going too.
So somewhere later that day, Johnny somehow packs a hobo stick. He packs up this bag of stuff. He's like, I want to run away to Atlanta. Now I have no idea what time of day this is. It looks like it's nighttime, but then as he starts walking down the road, like the sun is out. So no one saw this kid like running out the house. So anyway, he's walking, he's running away. And then we see some freed slaves. I need to stop calling them slaves, because apparently they're not slaves. Okay, the black people. the black town folk. The black town folk are all around like this fire or whatever, and they're singing a song about Uncle Remus, right? Because that's what Uncle Remus... No, that's not how it goes. I don't know how the song goes. But they're singing a song about like, and that's how the cheetah got his spots. Because that's what Uncle Remus says. Again, I don't remember the words. But, and so Johnny's still walking, and then he hears a man telling a story, right? Now, his father on the way there was telling him like, oh, it's just like when Uncle Remus told this story. And Johnny's like, is Uncle Remus real? He's like, yeah, he's real. He's going to tell you all this stuff. So Johnny hears this man telling a story. So he goes and looks, and we meet Uncle Remus, right? So he's telling a story to these kids, and I guess the family in the house discover that Johnny's gone. So of course they send Tempe. Oh, Miss Sally, look for Johnny. Do you know where he is? Can you help us find him? So Remus is like, okay, yeah, no, just tell her he's with me, because Remus saw him hiding behind a tree. So Remus walks up to him. He's like, hey, what's going on? And Johnny's like, I'm running away. I'm going to Atlanta. And he goes, well, you can't go by yourself. I'm going to go with you. Come back to my cabin. So Johnny goes back to his cabin. He's like, we're going to pack some food and we're going to run away. We're going to do it right. And you know what? This reminds me of this story about Br'er Rabbit. And we start going into these stories that he is oh so famous for. You know what? Am I even saying the first part of their names right? I don't think it's Br'er. I think it's Br'er. Br'er Rabbit, Br'er Fox, Br'er Bear. Okay, from now on, they're going to be Rabbit, Fox, and Bear. So now we come to our first animated segment, right? So this movie, we have your live action and you have your animated portions. And some of it actually comes together, right? And you've seen that a lot with Mary Poppins, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and a lot of movies like that. So Uncle Remus is like, well, you know, you running away reminds me of this story with Br'er Rabbit, Br'er Fox, and Br'er Bear. All right, so before he starts his story, he's like, you know, this starts on one of those zippity-doo-dah days, right? And then we get the song, which I don't know if a lot of kids are familiar with the song, but it is awesome. It was awesome back in my childhood before it just went away. But this is where the song Zippity Doo Dah came from.
Now that's the kind of day when you can't open your mouth without a song jump right out of it. Zippity doo dah, zippity yay. My oh my, what a wonderful day.
And I do have to say, when you have like a human interacting with a cartoon character, it's so good looking. Like the year this movie was made, you'll probably think like stuff will be off. But when you see Uncle Remus looking at something, like he's really looking at something. Because sometimes these movies, you're just like, are they looking at each other? Like he's looking here, but the character's like right here. Like it's weird looking. But it's so beautiful. I do have to say that. So in this story, Rabbit is looking to leave his home because something happened. He was mad. So he's like, you know what? That's it. I'm leaving. And so he goes down the road and he ends up falling into a trap or stepping on a trap. He doesn't fall into a trap, but a trap snaps him up into a tree. And so now he's hanging. And so the trap was set by the fox. And so while the fox is getting his axe ready, here comes Bear. So Bear is walking down the street, and he ain't all that smart. So Rabbit convinces him, like, "Hey, you can earn $1 a minute if you switch places with me. You can be like a scarecrow," which I don't understand. But so the bear falls for it, and then here comes the fox. And by the time the fox gets there, he sees that because he sees in the distance that the rabbit is caught. But when he gets there, now it's the fucking bear. And so he's pissed. So Fox is telling Bear, like, look, this rabbit just made a fool out of you. There's like a fight that happens. And then after all this, I guess Rabbit decides, you know what? This ain't worth it. So he goes back home and the story's over. A lot of these stories are not good. They're cute, but at the end of the day, like the animated stories are just blah. So of course Johnny hears the story and he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna go back home." So Uncle Remus takes him back home, and his mom's outside, like, "Oh my God, it's so late. It's past his bedtime. Like, where you been?" First of all, you don't even look like it's late outside. It looks like it's 7 p.m. I don't know what time it's supposed to be, but whatever, he's late, right? So Remus is just saying like, "Oh yeah, no, he was with me. I was telling him a story," not saying anything about the fact that Johnny was running away. But then here comes that damn Toby opening his loud mouth, and Toby's like, "Up, you forgot his bundle," and so everyone's like, "What?"
Miss Doshi, John forgot his bundle.
So Aunt Tempy like shoos Toby away, like, "Damn it, boy." He's blowing his cover. So the next day, now they mentioned that Johnny's grandmother is coming. So I guess this is the dad's mom. So she made an outfit for him. And since she's visiting, the mom was like, "Ooh, we need to put this outfit on so that she can see what you look like in it." It's very a Christmas story with the pink bunny. Like he looks at this outfit. He's like, "I'm not wearing that. Like, why do I gotta wear this for? It's all stupid looking. That's like a doily going around his neck." So he's in this awful green outfit. And he's out playing with Toby. And so he's about to go and like cut across this field. And Toby's like, "No, you can't do that." He's like, "Why?" He's like, "Because there's a bull that lives on the other side of this fence." So Johnny's like, "Okay." And it's a really quick scene. Like you blink and you miss it. But keep that in mind because there is a bull that's going to come back in this story. So anyway, they come up to this house to a family called the Favors, right? And out front are these two brothers and a sister. Now, the two brothers are little badasses that need their ass whooped. So they're playing with this like runt puppy. And the little girl feels bad. She's like, "No, leave him alone." And they're talking about, "No, give him to us. Like, we're going to drown him," right? So, you can take that out. We don't need to know that a puppy is about to get drowned by these two little boys. So the two boys make fun of Johnny's outfit, right? Which you should because it's awful looking. And so he's all mad. He pouts. It goes away. But then Jenny catches up with him. He's crying again. Little crybaby. So he's sitting there. And she's like, "Well, you know what? Here's a puppy." you can have the puppy. He's like, really? For real? So he's all excited and happy now. And he goes home. But of course, when he goes home, the mom was like, no, you better take that dog where it came from. Actually, no, that was Tempe, I think. Well, the mom said it, but then Tempe like throws him out the house. It was like, you heard your mom. Go take that dog back where he came from. Right? So instead of taking the dog back because the little badass boys would do something to the dog, he takes it to Uncle Remus. And he's like, well, I can't keep the dog there, but it's mine. And so he somehow convinces Uncle Remus to keep this dog in his cabin. So Uncle Remus is like, God damn it. So now the dog is in his cabin. Y'all, so this is where I realized, what was the storyline of this movie again? Oh, the dog. Like, this movie is nothing but Johnny and his damn dog and these two little badass white kids that want to like hurt this puppy. So ultimately the puppy belonged to Jenny, and even Jenny's mom is like, it's your puppy, you do whatever you want to. If you gave it to Johnny, then it's his. But these two boys are not having it, right? And that's all this movie is. They're just going back and forth like, this is our dog. So Johnny and Toby are at Remus's cabin, and then he decides to tell another story. So now he's talking about Rabbit. How about I call him Br'er Rabbit instead of Br'er? No, it's not Br'er. It's Br'er Rabbit. All right, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so Br'er Rabbit and the Tar Baby. What the hell is Disney doing with this segment? So Br'er Fox and Br'er Bear are in a cave, and Br'er Fox is building a tar baby. What is a tar baby? It's this thing right here. Okay, two quick side notes, you guys. So, number one, if you are familiar with Who Framed Roger Rabbit, when Eddie goes to Toontown, right? I always thought this was really funny and weird at the same time because a choice was made. So when Eddie first goes to Toontown, when he's in his car and the curtains opens and he's in Cartoon Land, right? If you look, you got some hummingbirds that are from Song of the South. There are these three like singing bunnies. They're from Song of the South. And in the same scene, you have a tar baby just there. And now if you look at it, if you're not familiar with Song of the South, you're probably like, what the hell is that thing? Like, what cartoon did that come from? Yeah, that thing came from this movie. And when they made Who Framed Roger Rabbit, someone was like, who do we put at the end of this part right here? What is that tar baby doing these days? What the fuck? Number two, I come from a family like, well, this is my mom's side of the family, where a whole bunch of people just don't go by their real names. I don't know why that is. Like, you will grow up calling someone a name, and then all of a sudden one day someone would be like, Tanya. You're like, who's Tanya? And they'd be like, oh, that's Shay Shay. You're like, how do you get Shay Shay from Tanya? Like, shit don't make sense in my family. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember who this person was. I can't think of his face right now. But apparently we had someone named Tar Baby in our family because he was so dark. I don't remember who that was. But he existed. And don't ask me what his real name is because I don't know. Anyway, Br'er Fox makes a tar baby to trap Br'er Rabbit, right? So he puts this thing out, he puts some buttons on it, and the thing is, when Br'er Rabbit walks by, he kind of knows he's going to interact with this thing, and since it's made of tar, it's going to be all sticky and gross, and it's going to trap the rabbit, right? So him and Br'er Bear are hiding out looking, and sure enough, here comes Br'er Rabbit. He says, he gives a greeting, and the tar baby doesn't say anything, and so he's like, I said hello. And he gets into a scuffle with this thing, and next thing you know, he's covered with tar, and he's captured. So he eventually gets out when Br'er Fox is about to burn him, and he uses a whole bunch of reverse psychology on him, right? So he's like, you know, you could do that to me, but just don't throw me in that bush of thorns over there. And so he keeps doing that. And the fox is like, well, how about I do this to you? He goes, well, you know what? You can go ahead and do that to me. Just don't throw me in that bush of thorns over there. So, of course, finally the fox is like, oh, you don't want to go on these thorns? Okay, that's what I'm going to do. And so he does it. And, of course, Br'er Rabbit loves the thorns. Like, he was born in the thorns. So he's like, I was born here. I'm used to this. And bye, and leaves. So he outsmarted the Br'er Fox and the Br'er Bear. So that's what Johnny, of course, does. Because he knows these stories are giving him an idea about his situation. So he goes, oh, okay, well, you know what? That's what I'm going to do with these two little hard-headed boys. So he goes, because the boys are still like, that's our dog. That's our dog. So stupid. And so Johnny's like, okay, well, you know what? You can tell my mom. Just don't tell your mom about it. So these two boys are like, oh, you don't want us to tell our mom about the situation? That's what we're going to do. So they go home and tell the mom that they still want this dog, even though the mom has already said, like, that is not your fucking dog. So their mom beat their asses. She must have had like a switch. And she beat their little asses. And now they're pissed. And now they're like, damn, that boy tricked us. So they go to the house and they go and tell Johnny's mom anyway. And so now the mom is like, wait, what? You mean that dog that I told him to get rid of? Then she finds out that the dog has been living with Remus. And now Remus is learning that Johnny was told to not keep the dog. He was supposed to return the dog, but then he fell for keeping the dog in his cabin, right? So everybody needs their ass whooped. I was really scared when I rewatched this scene because Remus is telling the mom, like, oh, you know what? Johnny, I told him a story about Br'er Rabbit, and that's what he did to these boys. So Remus is kind of proud, like, oh, this boy listened to what I said, and he did this, and he's so smart, right? But at the same time, the mom is like, God damn it, what the hell? And so she says, look, you need to stop telling my son these stories, right? And Remus is all sad and stuff. I just knew he was about to get beat. I thought he was going to go into the back, and they were going to just whip his ass, like, why are you telling that white lady's son stories for? I just knew it. But you know what? It don't happen. This is a cute slave movie, right? So they can't do that in this movie. Now, if this was made by another studio, Uncle Remus' ass will be whooped.
Lord God help that boy.
So Johnny's birthday comes up and his mom throws him a party. She's like, oh, all these kids are going to come. And now he's already like cozy with the little girl, Jenny, right? And so he's like, can I invite Jenny? Because he don't care about these other kids. Which, who are these other kids? Like, you never see him with any other kids. He's not going to school. He just came to this plantation from Atlanta. Even though he said last time they saw grandma, she came to visit them in Atlanta. So who are these children that the mom invites to the point where she's like, Jenny, no, she can't come. But then I think the grandmother was like, okay, one more kid ain't going to hurt or anything, right? So I never understood why the mom had an attitude just because what, Jenny's poor? Some poor white trash or something down the road, I guess is what she's saying. Because again, who are these children at this party? So Johnny goes to get Jenny and bring her to the party. Now, she's in this cute little dress. Apparently, the dress was made by her mom. It was her old wedding dress, and she redesigned it and made it cute for Jenny, right? But, you know, her two badass brothers are still up to no good. So they're following her and Johnny as they walk down the road, and they push the little girl into the mud, right? Now, y'all, it don't take a lot for me to get emotional, but I don't remember that scene. And I felt so bad for this little girl because she was crying and she was just so upset. And Johnny's like, well, you still go to the party. And she's like, I can't because my dress is ugly now and blah, 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 blah. And she is just like killing it with this scene, right? I just felt so bad for her. I just wanted to slap those two boys. So she goes running off, right? Crying, right? And then Johnny steps up and he's like, you motherfuckers. And so now Johnny gets to a fight with the little boy first. They're rolling around on the ground. Johnny's like pulling his hair and beating him. So then the older brother, instead of fighting with his hands, he decides he's going to go get this big old stick. And I guess he's going to beat Johnny, right? But Uncle Remus steps up and he stops them. And he's like, boy, if you don't put that stick down. And so Johnny goes running after Jenny, right? Yeah, that happened. So Johnny catches up with Jenny and he's comforting her. He's like, we can get your dress cleaned or whatever. She's still upset. So he was like, look, this reminds me of a story of like Br'er Rabbit, right? So now he starts telling her a story and Uncle Remus walks up and he's listening and smiling. And then apparently, I don't know, he must have felt away because then he just kind of scoots in between them two and he goes, I'm going to tell the damn story. You ain't telling the story right. So now this story is about Br'er Rabbit and his laughing place. And so once again, Br'er Fox and Br'er Bear are stupid. And so he was like, oh, there's my laughing place. That's my laughing place. And then Br'er Bear goes into this bush and it ends up being like a beehive inside and he's getting stung. And then Fox is meddling and the bear gets all pissed at Br'er Rabbit. He's like, well, I didn't say it was your laughing place. I said it was mine. Like, it was, I don't know. Again, these stories are dumb, but they're there. So then Remus is now taking the kids home and Johnny's mom is like looking for him. And so she's like, God damn it. Like, why are your clothes so dirty? And then Jenny, right, just tells the mom like, oh, blah, blah, blah happened. But anyway, we were listening to a story that Uncle Remus was talking about, right? Now, remember, the mom was like, don't be telling my son any more of these damn stories, right? So here comes Jenny with her big mouth. And Johnny doesn't really know this. So he kind of like goes and with Jenny, they run off. And now the mom is like, I fucking told you not to tell him.
I sure is sorry, Miss Sally.
No, it's my fault. I should have known you couldn't stop telling your stories. I don't like to say this, Uncle Remus, but from now on, I want you to stay away from Johnny. You understand? Completely away.
And I just knew Uncle Remus was going to get whipped by the whip. She was going to just be like, look, you better take your shirt off and wait for me when I get this whip and beat your ass.
Lord God help that boy.
But no, she was just like, look, I need you to stay away from my son. Okay? Don't talk to him. Don't tell me the stories. Don't even be around him anymore, right? Like, she is just crushing this old man's heart. Which is better than a whipping. But apparently, the free black people needed more camera time. Because then we see them just kind of walking down the road singing. But like, again, where are they going? What are they doing? Are they working? I don't know. So now Uncle Remus is like depressed, right? So since he can't talk to this one little boy, he decides to go back to his cabin and pack all his shit, and he's leaving, right? He's mad as hell. He's like, I'm gonna go to Atlanta, and I'm not gonna be here no more. So he literally packs up his shit, and to the point where Johnny wanted to go tell him something, like he found his laughing place or whatever, right? So Johnny just bursts inside his cabin and sees that it's just empty. I mean, I guess he didn't have a lot in the first place, but still. There was nothing there. And Johnny's like, what the hell? So Toby comes up to them. And he's like, hey, Uncle Remus is leaving. Like, he's getting into this carriage. So the carriage sets off. And now Johnny's all distraught. And he's running after Remus like, no, don't go, right? And what does he do? He decides he's going to take a shortcut through a fence, through a field, try to catch up to Uncle Remus. And what did I say was in that field? The bull. And Johnny is in this god-awful red outfit. And, the bulls apparently don't like the color red. So I guess not only the fact that there's a boy in the field, but now that he's wearing red, the bull runs after him, right? So obviously this is not him running in this field right here. It was like a small person. So, yeah, they don't show it on screen, but apparently he's like beat down by the bull. He's run over by the bull. We don't know what happens to Johnny because the next thing we see is just he's just in the bed. Like, we don't know if he went to the hospital. Like, did the doctor come? He's just in the bed with a towel on his head. So I'm assuming it's probably like the next day or so because his father is now coming from Atlanta and their father arrives there to check on the boy, right? So we get this whole scene of like the free black people outside the house. I guess this is like a prayer visual or something. Like, but they're just all like there. They're just like singing. I don't know why they're there singing. And I guess they're praying for the child. But he's laying in the bed and he's just like, where's Uncle Remus? Where's Uncle Remus? So the grandmother goes down and gets Uncle Remus and he starts to tell him like partials of a story. Like, yo, you know, that Br'er Rabbit, blah, blah, blah. And through the miracle of story, this boy comes out of his coma.
And that was the laughingest place in the whole wide world.
Daddy. Mama, Daddy's here. Mama.
She's right here, son.
Yes, darling, it's all right.
He's fine now. Whatever. All right. So now we're like, I don't know, a day or so later, he's well and he's able to get out of bed. So now him, Jenny, and Toby just go running and singing, and they're singing Zippity Doo Dah. Okay, now look, why they do this little boy like this? So, like, Jenny goes over this log, Johnny goes over the log, but look what they do to poor Toby. Toby, like, trips and falls, right? Now, the little boy is a good actor. He gets up and acts like nothing happened, right? But you mean to tell me, now this is racist right here. You mean to tell me this little boy tripped while the other two kids, the two little white kids, get over this log fine, and y'all couldn't be like, cut, let's do that again because I don't know the actor's name. But let's just make sure he gets over it fine. But they don't. Like, this is in the final movie. What? That is so rude. Do the little boy like that. Oh my God. Now I'm assuming that Uncle Remus was in the moonshine because all of a sudden he sees Br'er Rabbit with the kids and a whole bunch of other animals from his stories are just now in the real world. Now first he's looking like, what the fuck? Am I tripping? And then he breaks the fourth wall and looks at us like, oh, okay, y'all. Then he joins the kids and they're singing. I mean, I guess they see the characters. It's just the magic of magic, I guess. But yeah, I think all four of them were in something and they're all tripping because now they're all singing and dancing with the animals. And then they dance off into the sunset and the movie's over. Mess. So yeah, that was Song of the South. Is it a great movie? No. I don't know what they're teaching me. Little boys are hard-headed and need whoopings. That Johnny's mom, like everyone else is watching this kid except her. Like, this lady is never watching her child. Everyone else is always like watching him. Like I said, if they took some stuff out of this movie, I think it could just pass. Right? Again, you don't need these free black people just walking around singing. You have enough songs. Kinda. Well, you have one big song. Because all the other songs are sang by the black ensemble and back. So I think if you maybe just show them in the beginning, just chilling, take out all the other times they're just not doing anything. There is a free black person in the house alongside Aunt Tempe. I don't know, maybe take her out. We don't need her. She doesn't even do anything. She's there. Is she cleaning? We never see her clean. Tempe's always in the kitchen cooking. Like, there's a whole scene with her and Uncle Remus when she's baking pies. Now, she is singing a song in that scene, which strangely sounds like that one song from Dick Tracy that Madonna sings. It's not. I mean, some of the lyrics are the same. The melody is kind of there, but anyway, whatever. If you know, you know. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. Like, we definitely don't need a remake. Do not reboot Song of the South. Okay, y'all need to just go make like Song of the East. Just write a whole new movie. Do anything but fucking the Song of the South. Okay, you could do Dance of the North or something. Yeah, it's weird. Maybe it was just a product of this time, but I don't know. Watching it now, it's just so boring. And then Johnny's always crying, and I was crying when Jenny's dress got dirty. uh, the animation again looks beautiful, but as far as for the stories, like I'd rather just go watch a Bugs Bunny cartoon. Remember when Disney was racist with other things? Like, remember like Sunflower from Fantasia, and then Mickey was in blackface, and Donald was with Nazis. What the hell? Anyway, if I had to rate Song of the South, God, it's not like a great movie. It's fine. I think I'm gonna give this movie a 2. I was entertained, but I wasn't entertained. I don't know. It's just so weird. Now I feel like I need to go watch Roots again. All like 7 hours of it. Oh my God, Roots is so long. How many parts is that again? It's like 3 parts, ain't it? I don't know. Hi, y'all. Cheers. Oh, hold on. So there. All right, so let me know in the comments what do you think about Song of the South. Have you watched it? Did you see it in the theater? I remember Disney used to have these like sing along tapes back in the day. And I remember Zippity Doodah was always on there. And when they used to have like Christmas parades and Thanksgiving parades, I swear these Disney holiday parades are boring as hell now. Like, I still watch them every year. And now you got all these new artists, and I don't know who they are. I hate that I'm now that age where I'm like, who's that? Who's that? I don't know. Let me know your views. Is it racist? It's racist. I think at the end of the day, I think this movie is really racist. It can still not be. Again, just take some stuff out. Take some stuff out. Put a warning in front of it. It's fine. Okay? Yeah. That's what I'm going to say. All right, y'all. So, please like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see all y'all in the next episode. So, until then, TTFN.